What is up, my dudes, and happy new year. We finally made it to 2021. It's the new year, people have new resolutions, so let me know in the comments below what yours is. And let's be real, 2020 was just absolutely awful. A new year brings a lot of new opportunities, and I'm extremely excited to keep moving forward and bring you guys some more videos. What's up, guys? I'm Chris, aka Deuces, and today we're going to be looking at the third episode of the Riddim from Scratch series on how to make flows. If you missed the first or the second episode, you can check those out up here. Seriously, if you missed them, just go check them out. Get the stems and be caught up. So that way you can watch this video today and actually, follow along. This one's for you boys. Perfection. Also very excited to announce that I now have services on my website, wearedeuces.com. I have mixing and mastering, production lessons, and music business lessons. You can also even snag a free 30-minute consultation, even though I don't like calling it that. It's more like a brainstorm session, so I get to learn more about you, your goals, some of the producers you look up to, and that way we, if we do some production lessons, I can actually already know going into them what we're going to be talking about, and that way I maximize your time. So book your free 30-minute brainstorm session with me today at wearedeuces.com. Now, with all that being said, let's jump into today's video. Alright guys, we're now here in the DAW, and we're going to be looking at flows and probably maybe some switch up stuff as well. So I just went ahead and grabbed like the drums and one of the synths and brought it over into like another little loop over here. So I'm just gonna play this real quick. So there's that, but let's say we want to make a variation of that. So let's say we just want to do the typical quarter note flow of, like a typical rhythm flow. So just, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to grab the good old sub, copy over like our effects thing and our drums. Alright, so let's see now. Alright, so we got one flow down, right? And then another thing I want to show you guys, and this helps me like really dial in my flows, is when you have, let's say, just like this little audio clip and it's warped, and you're also not in the automations like screen to where that's like unclicked basically. You can hold Control, Alt, and Shift, and you can literally, as you're holding it over the waveform here, you can just click and drag it. Click and drag while holding Control, Alt, and Shift, and you can move them around. And that's how you can make some different types of flows. The biggest thing with rhythm flows, because I'm gonna turn the sub off for a second, is having things a little offset. As you can see, these are already offset. So we're offset by 1/16. So you could even offset this by like almost a whole eighth. And it feels awkward, but that's kind of what rhythm is. Rhythm isn't necessarily all on time. You can even put it more towards the start. Then you can kind of stagger them a little bit too if you want. I'll go 3 there, and then on this one I'm going to do like 5. So now it's going to have a different type of flow because it's not exactly the same quarter note. They're a little different. So now it's more of like a swingy vibe. Don't. And that Control Alt Shift actually also works for MIDI. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go Control Alt Shift, and I'm going to move this over to where it's on time with our sub, and this saves so much time. Because I used to go into these audio clips and move the start position every single time, and that took up way too much time. But now that I have that, I'm just going to copy this through, and let's see. So now another thing we can do is some other sort of flows. So now I'm going to kind of duplicate this and then drag it over to where it pretty much starts where an eighth note would be, but with this one being offset, and then this one, it's going to be like a da-da. And that's something I do a lot personally in my own productions, is a da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. You know, this is something that you could do not only like this, and then have it go into this, or you can have it play every other, so on every like downbeat. Or another thing you can do too, and this makes it feel really awkward, but it's a really cool flow, is pretty much having this same exact one, where it's a little offset, and then where you would have that eighth note, instead of having that eighth note, you just duplicate this one over, and it feels really awkward. And this is something where you can, you know, kind of divide it by 2, use Complex Pro, and really start to make some really awkward kind of flows. So I'm going to do this again here and just copy it with the eighth note. You can even do maybe like a triplet kind of deal. So I'm going to go on a triplet grid here, go to medium, and just kind of copy that through. So that's really all it is it's just kind of like, you know, offsetting things and making things kind of awkward and weird, just making things different, and, you know, trying to dial in the flow that you really like. I know for me, I have another flow which isn't in this project, but I'm gonna go snag it real quick. So it's got the offset in the beginning, and then even the eighth note is a little offset. Then there's one right there, and it's kind of the same thing through. And then did like the same first note here, just a little bit earlier it looks, and then just a couple like little 16th notes there. And that's really it on how to make flows. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how to make some different switch ups slash I guess like synth fills. So for instance, I'm actually going to grab one of these quarter notes, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to make a flow. And I'm also going to grab our sub here and toss it in, make sure it's on time. It looks like it is. Perfect. Copy that through. And then I'm going to put our effects and drums here. Alright, so now we got this. So now, when we were just going over like the different flows and stuff over here, and we made this, that's something we can actually utilize. So I'm gonna grab half a measure of it, put it over here. So now we have, and then I'm gonna grab these quarter notes, bring them over. We can either put some different effects, you know, we could put a phaser on it, we could do some weird stuff to it, we could literally just turn on a frequency shifter and just mess with the frequencies. Or we can actually go in and change the pitch of all these, go down like -5, I'm gonna go up to 8, and then 7, and then this little one right here, I'm gonna go up a 1. Maybe not so high up there. I kind of want this to be a little earlier too. Alright. Now typically what I'll do too is I'll make a different sub, and I'll get rid of that spot right there, of course, and then, you know, delete all this other stuff because I just duplicated it. And then I'm gonna make a half note, but a little bit shorter than a full half note. So now we have some weird wow. So now I'm actually just gonna turn this into like, why are you running? A sub drop. Oop, oop, oop. Need you over here, bud. Alright, so now I'm just gonna add like, I'm just gonna put all the drums for now, and then I'm gonna get rid of where the hi-hat's at, to where all we really have there is just a kick and a ride, and I think a hi-hat. So you can do something like that. or you could even, I'm going to put an OTT onto this long verb here. Output at like 8 or something like that. And then I am going to automate the volume of this. So since we're going to be coming in at 0.3, I'm going to have this come in slowly. And I am only going to be using, let's say this much. And then I'm going to turn up that track to 0. Oh, not that one. And it's not long delay we need. It's a long verb. Yep. So that's C. So we're gonna go up to 0. And then I'm gonna automate I'm gonna automate that again. Sorry I messed up on that. So now it should be kind of almost like a, not a reversed reverb, but like a reverb, like ramp up. Like a fake reverb. And it might even be better, I'm gonna grab these away from here, put them over here. And I'm just gonna grab one of these, toss it over here, and let's see. And then let's say we wanted to change this synth up a little bit. We could literally just turn on a frequency shifter right here. And bada boom, bada bing, we got a switch, just like that. Alright, that's about it for today, guys. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll be putting the downloads in the description for you below. And if you guys have any questions, of course, always ask in the comments. And if you haven't already, check out wearedeuces.com for some of my merch. You can sign up for a lesson, or you could even get the Riddim Volume 2 sample pack that includes all of the drums and the things that I use in my own productions. I think right now we're only down about like 75 copies left, so if you want to go snag that, that'll be in the link below. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.